Hey guys, welcome back. Happy Friday. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jessica. I'm a woman in long-term recovery, and on my channel, I make videos about substance use disorder, harm reduction, mental health, and anything in between there. Today, first, I want to tell you guys, look, I got a long sleeve shirt on. I'm so happy about that. It's like 57 degrees at my house right now, and I cannot tell you how excited I am that it's like 12 days until fall. We'll see if it's actually going to be fall weather in 12 days, but I'm super happy about that. We have had a really, really hot summer here, so I'm ready for just a little bit of cooler temperatures. I'm not necessarily ready for winter, but I'm ready for it to cool off just a little bit. So, you know, just wanted to share my happiness over the fact that I get to wear long sleeves for at least a little bit of my day today. That being said, I wanted to talk to you guys today about triggers and recovery in general because I debated on doing this video for the longest time. I try really hard to, as part of my recovery and as like a general life rule, I try really hard to stay out of drama. And I also just, it's just drama is not something that I want in my life. But as you guys know, if you followed along with me for a while, you know that I created a friggin' TikTok account. And you also know that when I first created my TikTok account, I was overwhelmed in a good way about how big the recovery community was on TikTok because it's massive. You also know, if you followed along with me for a little while, that once I was in that community for a little while, it didn't take very long for me to see the ugly side of that community. And by the ugly side, I mean the people nitpicking each other. I mean, like 12 steppers saying that people that work a maintenance program aren't doing it right, or that we trade one drug for another. And I say we because I personally work a maintenance program myself. Anytime you involve people in anything, you're going to have conflicting opinions. And unfortunately, anytime you involve people in things, you're going to have people that get nasty about it because, for whatever reason, we don't know as a society how to be nice to people or how to sit down and have adult conversations and say, well, here's my point of view. It's different than your point of view. And even though we have different point of views, we're still going to be nice to each other, which fucking baffles me. It baffles me that of all the things that we have learned how to do as a society, that we cannot collectively come together and say, okay, we don't agree about X, Y, and Z, but we're going to still be nice to each other. So it baffles me, and honestly, it pisses me off because there are a lot of things that I hear or I see that I don't agree with, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to walk up to you and be an asshole to you about it. And, you know, if you guys have heard any of my story before, you know that when I was in active addiction, I was not a nice person. And even before I was in active addiction, I wasn't a very nice person. I have carried a lot of anger around with me my entire life because of the way I grew up. And I learned very quickly that anger was an emotion that I felt like kind of put a shield between me and the world. When I got into recovery, that's one of the things that I started working on. And, even my dad has said to me that that's one of the big things that he's noticed about me is that, a long time ago that, if we were in the same room together, that I almost had the attitude of, I'm not going to let you get near me. I'm not going to let you hurt me, because that was the attitude that I had, and now my dad says that, I don't have that attitude anymore, and that I'm more open, and, which is great. It makes me it makes me tear up because that's a lot of growth for me. That's not the point of this video, I'm just saying the community that I see, and it's not just on TikTok, I see it, unfortunately, God, every friggin' where. I see it everywhere. Anytime you put more than one group together in our recovery community, and I'm going to use air quotes about that because in my mind, a community is a group of people that comes together to work towards a greater good and support each other. A community should be like a neighborhood. And in a neighborhood, if you see that your neighbor needs something, if a tree falls on your neighbor's house and they don't have power and you have power, you go over and check on your neighbor, right? Well, I know that people don't do that now because we're selfish and we're concerned about taking care of number one, and we don't worry about taking care of our neighbors. But in my mind, that's what a community should be. So when I say recovery community, that's why I use air quotes, because I don't see much of a community. 2020, 93,000 overdose deaths. 93,000 overdose deaths. And we are out here fighting about how people recover. That blows my mind. Why in the are we fighting about that? Why? That makes no sense to me. The reason I decided to do this video, and I know it seems like I'm jumping from thing to thing to thing, is because no matter what I try to do on TikTok, what subjects I try to uh like on TikTok to get this certain person off of my friggin' TikTok page, I can't. So I don't know if it's like a sign or or if it's just that this woman has invaded the TikTok space so much that I can't get away from her. There is a woman on TikTok. She's also on YouTube. She has a big following on YouTube. It's dwindling. From what I can understand, she got this big following because she knows how to read cards, tarot cards. And so she started getting this big following from that. And then she got an even bigger following because when she would go live on her YouTube and her TikTok accounts, you can visibly tell that she's high. So people have made all these accounts on TikTok. There's YouTube pages dedicated to this woman. There's TikTok accounts dedicated to this woman. And let me just say, in case anybody is watching my video that knows who I'm talking about, because no, I'm not going to name her. Let me just say, I'm not taking up for who this woman is as a person, because from what I've learned about this woman, as a person, she's not a very nice woman. She's allegedly done some things to her family members in the past that are horrendous. That's what I'm going to say. That being said, she is very visibly in a very active addiction. Just a couple years ago, I could have started my YouTube channel, obviously not about recovery. I would hope and pray that I would not have started a YouTube channel about recovery and been in active addiction. And I know that's some of the problem that people have with her is because she does claim to be in recovery. Here's my problem with the situation. I could have started a YouTube channel years ago while I was in active addiction, and the chances of people knowing that I was high are very slim. This woman does not hide it very well. Anyway, here's my problem with it. My problem is not that she goes on such a public platform and is visibly high. I do have a problem with that because YouTube supports her, TikTok supports her, and I don't think that we should be supporting content like that because she has a very young audience. So that's a problem within itself. My problem is with all these other accounts because people make these hate accounts for this woman. My problem with that is that most of the people that have made these hate accounts against this woman are people that claim to be in recovery. I don't know everything there is to know about substance use disorder. It is a lifelong learning process. The entire point of recovery is not just to change your active use. That's not just what recovery is. And I think that so many people think that it's just about laying the dope down. And that's not it. Recovery is about so much more than that. Because when we are in active use, we're shitty people. We're liars, we're manipulators, we're thieves, we steal from you, we're shitty parents. We do all this horrible stuff when we are in our active addiction. And this is what I mean by all these people that make these accounts about this woman. These people are not going to be happy until this woman overdoses and dies on one of her lives. And I cannot imagine what they will say about her if, God forbid, that ever happens. I pray that this woman gets the help that she needs. One of the things that I see consistently on these accounts that these people make about this woman is that she is making a mockery of the recovery community. No, she's not. No, she's not. Because those of us that are in recovery and not just work in recovery like, okay, we put the dope down, but we also worked our recovery pathway and it made us be better people. So we don't treat other human beings like trash. And that includes people that are still in active use. And that includes people that are still not the greatest human beings. She's not making a mockery of my recovery. So let me just say it from my standpoint. There is nobody out there right now that is in active use that makes a mockery of my recovery or my recovery community, because my recovery is strong enough to withstand that. Another thing that these accounts say all the time is that I'm going to look down because I wrote down, y'all know me and my forgetful ass, that she's putting a bad name on the rest of us, that she's giving all of us that work so hard to stop using drugs a bad name. How? How is she doing that? How does anybody that is out there still using give us a bad name? Because we used to do the same shit that she's doing. We used to get high, so high that we were nodding out, so high that our loved ones were calling the cops on us or calling the EMS or having to Narcan us. We were the same people that she is. So these people have no right. And I know that I can make this video 10 million times and it's not going to change anything. I know that these people are still going to sit at their houses and record her lives, and then they're going to turn around and make videos about it on TikTok because they gain followers and, whatever weird ass pleasure that they get from it. But I'm tired of being quiet about it. It's just like the people that pull out their phones and record somebody, that is tweaking. And then they put it on the internet. It's the same thing. And we're living in a society right now where it's easier for people to do bad things and everybody around to be quiet about it than for people to speak up about it. And I'm so tired of that. I'm so tired of being quiet. And I'm so tired of nobody speaking up for all of the people like me. I'm not saying she's a good person, but you know what? I wasn't a good person. I was not a good person when I was in active addiction. Not at all. You turn your back on me while your purse was in the room, I'm going to steal from you when I'm in active addiction. And if you notice that something was gone out of your purse while I'm still in your house, I'm going to help you look for it. That's the kind of person I was when I was in active addiction. I was not a good person when I was in active addiction. You show me somebody that was in active addiction that needed to get money, that needed to get drugs, and didn't have a way to get them, and was in a room with somebody else that had means to get those drugs, and they did the right thing. You show them to me, and I'll shake their hand. I know that they exist. I know that there were people that were better than me. I know that. But I can tell you from my personal standpoint, from what I did and the person that I was when I was in active addiction, I was not a good person. I was mean. God, I was so mean. So mean. You could say the littlest thing to me. You could look at me the wrong way or look at me too long and I would fly off the friggin' handle. That's not being a good person. And that is part of my recovery. So no, I'm not taking up for her because she's a good person. I'm taking up for her because all you people that are out there in the recovery community that are making all these videos about her, and that's your justification. Oh, well, she's not a good person. Neither were you. Neither were you. And your continuation of this is addict behavior. Your continuation of making videos of somebody that is in active addiction does not make you a good person. You're not working a recovery program. I don't care if you can say, oh, this is my sober day and I haven't touched drugs. You're still exhibiting addict behavior and it's not right. You're being a shitty person. I'm not taking up for her personality. What are you guys going to do if she goes on live one night and she overdoses and dies? What are you going to do? I don't want that resting on my soul. I can't imagine that anybody would want that resting on theirs. How do you make that okay in your brain? And I know, I know we have a name for these people now. Like, as a society, we have justified this so much that we have a name for these people. We call them Karens. This is so fucked up, y'all. This is so fucked up. People that are suffering from the disease of addiction need help. And I know it makes you mad. If you're dealing with somebody in your life that is going through those things right now and they've treated you badly, I know it is really hard for you to remember the person that they used to be or to see the good in something or to see the good in that person. I know that. I get that. It's there. It's there. And it's not about you seeing the good in them. It's about the good in you. You don't have to see the good in somebody else for you to do the right thing. You don't have to see the good in somebody else for you to be a good person. That's not what it's about. That's not what we're here for. You know, I don't know about you guys, but when I got into recovery, and I heard Jen Cutting talking about this the other day, and I was like, you know what? She's absolutely right. When I got into recovery, I made a moral code for myself because of all the hateful, angry, mean crap that I did when I was in active addiction. So, when I got into recovery, I was like, okay, from here on out, I refuse to do this stuff anymore. I refuse to act this way anymore. And it wasn't a change that occurred overnight. It was something that I had to work at continuously. I still have to work at it. Like, you know how many times it took me to do this video without just blasting? And you know how many times I scroll through my TikTok feed and not just making a video and blasting people. It's a work in progress, but I have a moral code that I go by. And yes, most of mine is from the Bible because that is my faith. That is what guides me. That is my belief system. If you don't believe in that, that's fine. I don't judge you for what you do believe in or what you don't believe in. But I believe that 99% of people, maybe more, most of us have a moral code. And I feel like most of us that have gone through the hell of an addiction and then we get into recovery, most of us do have a moral code. And we're like, you know what? When I was in active addiction, I did X, Y, and Z, and it was really shitty. And now that I'm in recovery, I'm not going to do that anymore. And all these people that claim they're in recovery, where is your moral code? That's not recovery to me. And what's sad is that there's so many people that don't agree with all the hatefulness. And every time I go through and I try really hard not to open the comments on the videos, the hateful videos. But every once in a while, I'm like, I just want to see if anybody is standing up, if anybody's saying, this isn't right. This isn't right. We get attacked. I mean, whoo, I'll comment on them. And I try to say, I don't want to argue with you. Like, I try to lead a comment off that way. I'm not here to argue, but can I ask you legitimately, what purpose does this serve? And they either do not answer me at all, or it's, a full-blown attack. Oh, you're taking up for her because one of the last things I want to talk about is, they say that her behavior when she gets online is triggering, and that's why they attack her so much. Blah, blah, blah. Don't watch. When I was in active use, one of my really good friends at the time, this is so messed up, but when we would use together, one of our favorite things to do was sit down and watch the show Intervention. I don't like that show now for various reasons. We could talk about that in another video, but when I got into recovery, I cannot watch that show anymore. When I first got into recovery, I couldn't watch it because they show so much. They show the drugs, they show the needles, they show them crushing things up. I couldn't watch it. It was a trigger for me. So I stopped watching it. It's literally the push of a button. But anyway, I follow this girl on TikTok. And if you guys are on TikTok, you're in recovery, or, you're just interested in this kind of stuff, there is a girl on TikTok. I'll link her down below. She's great. I freaking love her. Her username is Beauty in Recovery 15. And she made a video talking about how it is our responsibility in recovery to manage our triggers. It's not other people's responsibility to cater to my triggers. It is my responsibility to avoid my triggers. I cannot control what other people do. So, if you are watching something and it triggers you, turn it off. Scroll. Go to something else, because it is our responsibility as people in recovery to control our triggers. It's not anybody else's responsibility to do that. Period. I get so upset about it. I hate to see other people be treated this way. Because, yeah, I know, allegedly, that she's done some crappy things. I just don't understand why we treat people the way that we do, I guess. Especially people that are suffering so much. Because I don't know what all these people are going to do if she is in active addiction. She comes on live one day on one of these platforms and she does overdose. and she dies in front of all of these people watching because, I mean, hundreds of people go on her lives and watch her. And a lot of them support her, but a lot of them are there just to make other content to make fun of her. I've reached out to this woman personally and let her know that if she needs help, that or someone to talk to, that I'm here. This is who I am. This is what I do. I'm here. And from what I understand, she gets a lot of messages like that. She's very defensive. She's not a very nice woman, to be honest with you. But everybody needs the chance. Everybody needs a chance, is what I feel like. Oh, gosh. I'm going to end today's video here. Like I said, it's getting to be a long one. And I just know, stuff like this weighs really heavy on my heart. I see a lot of bashing going on in the recovery community. I see so many creators that are just trying to share their journey in a positive, upbeat way, just trying to share, this is what I do, this is what worked for me, this is where I came from, this is what I went through. And then you have all these other recovery creators that just come in and it is ruthless. And I don't understand it. I don't understand it because when I see somebody doing good, regardless of what path they chose to get there. So my first comment is, I'm so glad you're here and congratulations. I'm so glad it's working for you. If you ever need anything, here's my information. This is my account. Reach out to me. So I don't understand when I see people saying all the shit that they say to other people. Be nice to each other. The person that you're being nice to, they don't have to be a nice person. You do. Take care of yourselves, you guys. Take care of each other. I hope you all have a fabulous weekend. I hope that you have a little bit cooler weather wherever you are, like I'm experiencing, because if you get excited about long sleeve shirts like I do, enjoy it. And I will see you guys next week. If you need Narcan or if you need to be trained in Narcan, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. If you need anything else at all, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. All of my contact information is in all of my description boxes. I love you guys, and I will see you next Wednesday at 3-ish. Sometimes I run a little late. Just going to be honest. I love you guys. I'll see y'all next week. Have a good weekend.